On today's episode, we're going to talk about how ich kann relativ gut Deutsch, aber mi español se quede cagado. Hello, Yen Lieblings. I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Today, we're going to talk about languages and that old adage, use it or lose it. In this case, it's about my Spanish. If you're new to this channel, how you doing? I'm a Peruvian-American living in Germany. I am a rare breed of trilingual Americans. That's right, I am fluent in 3 languages. I have actually studied up to 5. I grew up speaking English and Spanish. I studied German, Spanish, French, and Russian in college, and I do have a Spanish degree. But now I live in Germany, where I mostly speak Deutsch, English, Denglisch, or random words from our regional dialect of Hohenlohisch. Whew, that's a lot. You gotta wonder where Spanish fits in all this. And we're gonna get to that. But before we get started, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you haven't already. Here on Adventures of Lamari, we talk about writing, living abroad, and everything in between. So as you can see, my brain is already filled with a lot of Germanic language stuff. Between English and German, and also considering I don't have any Peruvian relatives readily available like I did in the States, I don't get a lot of opportunities to speak Spanish unless I'm back in the States. Actually, that's not entirely true. You see, I do have Peruvian relatives here in Germany. And by relatives, I mean them in the Latino sense, which means we're actually not blood related. These women are actually close friends of my mom from her hometown of Trujillo, Peru. But for the sake of simplicity, they're my aunts. Unfortunately, hanging out with them has done further damage to my Spanish speaking abilities because I know that whenever Spanish fails me, I can just default to German and thus further solidifying how terrible my Spanish is becoming. Sorry, Mom. Even though I grew up speaking Spanish, I didn't actually start properly learning or even really speaking it until I was about 13 and then subsequently shipped off to Peru by myself for the summer. As a result, Spanish is technically organized in the part of my brain that I refer to as my foreign language file. It's the part that registers that I'm not speaking my most native language, which is English. I can switch very easily between English and Spanish and English and German. But once I try to mix Spanish and German, then the Deutsch beats my Espanol into submission and I have no control with what the hell comes out of my mouth. Things get weird. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but like a little bit. My Spanish is not really broken, but it does take me a little longer to get back in the swing of things. Like I was in Spain back in 2018 because one of my besties, Lizzie, is married to a Spaniard, Rafa, and I was asked to be godmother to their first child, and the baptism took place in Rafa's hometown, which is just outside of Sevilla. It took me literally 24 hours of speaking Spanish slowly before I could be comfortable enough to know that that pesky Deutsch was not going to make its grand entrance. Also, speaking slowly for me is so hard. If you've watched enough of my episodes, you know I like to talk, and I like to talk fast because time is money. Gah! But I do have to do it to kind of like rewire my brain to function in Spanish mode. And I mean, honestly, I miss it. I miss Spanish. I have been watching a lot more Spanish speaking shows on Netflix, though majority of them have been in Castellano or Castilian Spanish. I have been so desperate for Peruvian Spanish. I actually watched the whole 3-hour inauguration ceremony for the Pan-American Games in 2019 in Lima, just so I could hear correct Spanish. I mean, Peruvian Spanish. Yes, they are different, guys, FYI. Though I'm sure you're wondering at this point, after all my rambling, like what the hell does German do to my Spanish? It's little things, honestly. Sometimes it's saying the German word versus the Spanish word, or using the wrong filler word at the end of my sentences. I really like that German oder, which is easy for me to fix when I'm in Spain because they use vale, which is practically the same thing, but Peruvian Spanish doesn't have that, and that's where I get caught. Because if I start using vale, then my family's like, "Oh, la española, oh!" and they start making fun of me. So there's no winning here. Like I said, it's not a lot, but it does aggravate me when I try to speak Spanish and the wrong language comes out. I wish I had more opportunities to speak Spanish, but out here in the boonies, there isn't much. I guess it's time for me to go visit my relatives again, right? What about you who also speak multiple languages? Have you been in the situation where the wrong language comes out? Also, like other random thing, can you imagine what my wedding must have been like? I had to switch between 3 languages the entire evening. It was insane. So the rest of you, please tell me your stories of languaging gone wrong. I would love to hear from you and know that I'm not alone in this phenomenon. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me in this very weird rant, but I really had to get this off my chest. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up because it lets me and YouTube know you like content like this and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. My Space Fantasy of the God Queen is available in ebook, paperback, and hardback. I have all the links in the description below, including a link for the first 6 chapters just by signing up for my newsletter. And hint, hint. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, adi!